Hello YouTubers, Jr. here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about some big changes that are coming to Battlefield 1, and trust me, they are changes for the better. Now the first change that is coming and is currently available on the CTE right now is basically they are changing the way Conquest points are counted. Now they're going to kind of revert to how it was in Battlefield 4, but not completely. Tickets are still going to count up instead of bleed down like in Battlefield 4. But now your team is going to have to capture and control a majority of the flags in order for your tickets to count up. Now before, each flag capped would actually count tickets up towards the maximum ticket count of the server, usually around 1,000. Sometimes in custom servers it could go all the way to 2,000, but anyways, let's just stick with 1,000 for now. So basically each flag would contribute points towards that 1,000 points. So sometimes when the other team had a lead of like 300 points or more, it would be very hard for the opposing faction or team to actually be able to make a sweeping change and like cap all the flags and make a comeback and then end up winning the game. Now the way that it's going to work now is it's going to seem a lot more similar to Battlefield 4. As I said, your team is going to have to capture and control the majority of the flags in order for their tickets to go up. Now I think this needs a little bit of a balance pass because some matches can be very long, so maybe the majority of the flags held by a certain team could make it so that the tickets would go up faster than right now, because some matches last all the way up to like an hour, and that's a little bit too long for a Conquest match in my opinion. But I mean, it is so much better than what we had before. This is going to bring back, I think, a lot of players who like the way Conquest points were counted in Battlefield 4. A lot of players are going to come back because of this change, and this is excellent. They're finally listening to community feedback and what we want for the game, as opposed to what they think is best. Like, I get that you're a game developer, but sometimes you just have to listen to community and see what they want and not something that you want yourself. Because I mean, at the end of the day, the community is what drives the game, if it fails or not. So the next changes are also equally as huge. They are a massive weapon balance update in September. It's available right now on the CTE, and there's no update or news yet on when it's going to come out on the live servers. I think they're going to test this for quite some time before putting this out on the live servers, but I think this is just going to make the game feel so much better to play, and it's actually going to give players who have good mechanical skills and good tactics to actually come out victorious of some firefights that beforehand they might not have come out victorious of because of this incredibly slow time to kill of Battlefield 1. So in the Reddit post on this, on the subreddit for Battlefield Live, they say, "Hi everyone, today we're introducing a major update where we're tweaking many weapon values to get them to feel more powerful and to slightly reduce the disparity in raw time to kill between fast firing and slow firing weapons." So this is a hint to like the Automatico being the king of like close quarter and even medium range, because it shoots so goddamn fast that it doesn't matter if it doesn't do a lot of damage. You put out so many bullets per minute, so many rounds per minute, that you're probably going to outgun most of your opponents even if you don't have the best aim, because you're going to be putting so many bullets down range that I mean, most of the time you're going to win those firefights. During the next days, we will carefully be monitoring these changes on the CTE to ensure that they meet balance and our expectations when it comes to overall gunplay. So this means in general that most automatic weapons like LMGs, SMGs are going to typically require one less bullet to kill. So that is massive. So that means that you're going to be able to take out those two enemies with one clip, as opposed to before you almost needed to chew through an entire magazine to kill one enemy, and it just felt so slow, and it felt unsatisfying, because more than often than not you knew that you could kill that second guy, but because the bullets do such insignificant damage, you ended up dying because you had to reload your weapon. But now with one bullet less per kill, so instead of like 5 bullets you're going to require 4 instead of 4 or 3. That is a massive change, and it's going to make it so that aiming towards the head is going to be a lot more satisfying, and it's going to be a lot more rewarding, because you're going to be able to get kills faster. Because basically what they did is they increased the maximum damage of weapons and the minimum damage of weapons. Well, for the automatic weapons, that is. So like for an example, the Shosha now has a maximum damage of 38 as opposed to 35, and the minimum damage of 23 as opposed to 28. So that is a huge change. Like the minimum damage is getting closer towards the maximum damage, and that's at range. So I mean, that is a huge change, and I think it's going to feel a lot better to play Battlefield 1 than what it is like right now. And when it comes to self-loading rifles, their accuracy and their rate of fire have been improved. So these changes should make it so that medics have a better chance at like fighting off snipers for one, and also just making it so that your weapon feels a lot better to fire. I mean, you're going to be hitting shots that are on target. Like before, for example, you could be aiming directly at the target, but because of random bullet spread of the SLRs, it felt like most of the time you weren't actually hitting your shots. So this is going to be changed because spread increase per shot has been halved, and they have significantly improved, reduced the random bullet deviation of the weapon. So, I mean, shooting SLRs feels so much better than it did before, and they also increased the range at which you can get like 3 and 4 shot kills. So that comes again into the fact that it's going to be a lot easier to actually kill snipers out at range. So this is just a massive change, and I mean, all the weapons are getting an overhaul to make them feel as though they actually do damage to your enemies, and that you can actually take out multiple enemies if you're a better skilled player and you have better aim than your opponents. So for the submachine guns, what they did is they also increased the maximum and minimum damage. So all the SMGs are going to have a fighting chance against, for example, the Automatica, which did not receive the increased damage because of its high rate of fire. It already does a high damage per second. So all of the weapons now are going to feel like they have a fighting chance against like close range weapons like the Automatica, which was obviously for the longest time the king, the like undisputed king of close quarter combat, alongside the Model 10A Hunter. So now you're going to feel like all weapons have a fighting chance, and it's just going to make it so that more weapons are used, and it's not going to feel old and stale, because everybody, when they want to be competitive, are using the Automatico. Now you're going to actually be able to use other weapons and still be in competition and even kill people that have the Automatico. Now, this being said, of course, the medic weapons did not see damage buffs because they do already do a lot of damage, but they just seen buffs to make it so that medics have a better fighting chance at range and their weapons feel a lot more consistent, and it's just going to be easier to get kills. But again, in close quarter combat, medics might not be the best choice because of the buffs to the LMGs and the SMGs. So medics are obviously going to be a lot stronger at medium to long range combat. Now for shotguns, there has been so many problems with shotguns lately. Be it that you get lucky one-hit kills that you didn't even have your crosshairs on the enemy, and also at other times being it that you actually had your crosshairs dead center of the target and not a single hit marker was had. So that was just a massive problem with the shotguns lately. Like, they felt so broken you couldn't use them at all because you never knew if you're going to actually hit your enemy or not. So now all shotguns fire the same amount of pellets, which is 12, and of course the damage model is adjusted accordingly to their rate of fire, if it's a pump action or if it's a semi-automatic shotgun. Now what they also did is that the dispersion is now broken up into 12 sectors, so 6 in an inner circle and 6 in an outer ring. Now each sector contains 1 pellet, so this ensures that all 12 pellets are going to be spread a lot more evenly in the cone of dispersion as before, because before, sometimes, like I said, they could all fire to the right or all fire to the left and you didn't get any hit markers on a target. Now there's going to be an inner circle and an outer circle, so making it that when you're really close, more than likely like 10 out of your 12 pellets are going to hit, and when you're at a further range, you're at least certified that those maybe 6 pellets on the inner circle are going to actually hit the target. Now you might not get the kill, but at least you're going to get some definitive damage, as opposed to before it was just a hit or miss. It was just a swing or miss. You would shoot your shotgun, and if it hit, it hit, and if it didn't, it didn't. Even if you were mid-mass on the target, there wasn't a whole lot you could do because of the super random bullet spread of, well, pellet spread of the shotgun. So this is going to be remedied, and it feels a lot better to use shotguns. Now, I know this video was a little bit all over the place. I wanted to cover all the different changes, and it was kind of long. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to do like a 10-minute video, but I feel like these changes are going to bring back some life into Battlefield 1, and hopefully bring back some players that stopped playing because they didn't like the way Conquest worked, or the time to kill was just too goddamn long. Now let me know in the comments down below if you guys had any chance to try these changes, what you think of them, if you think it's going to bring back life into Battlefield 1. While you're down there, be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit that notify bell, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.